Welcome everyone to The Explainer. Go ahead and switch on your exam mode right now because today we're tackling a seriously high-yield topic, the hydatid cyst. Think about this for a second. A dog, a sheep, and a cyst that can just hang out inside a person, growing silently for literally decades. What's the link? Well, we're going to break this whole thing down together so you can absolutely master it, from understanding the parasite's sneaky life cycle all the way to its definitive treatment. Let's get right into it.
Here's our roadmap for this explainer. 1. The tiny parasite's giant threat. 2. Mapping the life cycle. 3. Anatomy of a cyst. 4. Diagnosing the hidden enemy. 5. Treatment options and procedures. And 6. Prevention and final takeaways.
Section 1. The tiny parasite's giant threat.
Look at the incredible contrast here. It's actually kind of wild. On one hand, we have the adult tapeworm. It's tiny. We're talking literally just a few millimeters long, just chilling completely harmlessly in a dog's gut. But on the other hand, the massive, monstrous larval cyst it can create inside a person. It's a super common mistake to blame the adult worm for the disease. But you've got to remember that the actual disease in humans is caused by the larval stage, the cyst itself. It really just goes to show how a tiny little parasite can create a massive physiological problem.
Section 2. Mapping the life cycle.
Okay, let's break down the hosts, and we're going to use some great mnemonics to help you remember exactly who is who. The whole cycle kicks off with the dog. Remember the phrase, dog defines. The dog is the definitive host where the adult worm lives. Next, we've got our intermediate host, the sheep, which is the typical player in this cycle. And then there's us. Humans are the accidental host. The mnemonic here is a little harsh, but trust me, you won't forget it. Man is a mistake. We accidentally crash the party by swallowing the parasite's eggs. Now, for the cycle to actually continue, a dog would have to eat our infected organs. Since that obviously doesn't happen, the cycle stops with us. We are a total dead end.
Section 3. Anatomy of a cyst. You absolutely have to know the layers of this cyst, so let's burn this PEEP mnemonic into your brain right now. P-E-E-P. The P is for pericyst. Now note this carefully because it's tricky. The pericyst is actually on the very outside, and it's made of our body's own fibrous tissue trying to wall the invader off. Then, moving inward, we have the ectocyst and the endocyst, which both belong to the parasite. And the absolute crucial point here is that inner E, the endocyst. That's the germinal layer. Think of it as the dangerous factory floor. It is constantly churning out baby parasites and this toxic, highly antigenic fluid.
So how does this balloon actually hurt us? Well, it boils down to two main pathways. First, there's the space problem. The cyst is basically a slow-growing balloon. As it inflates over years and years, it squishes your vital organs, putting mass effect pressure on the liver, lungs, or even the brain. The second scenario is much, much worse. It's the catastrophe. If this cyst bursts, it spills all that toxic antigenic fluid we just talked about right into the body, unleashing a massive system-wide allergic reaction. We are talking full-blown, life-threatening anaphylactic shock.
Section 4. Diagnosing the hidden enemy.
So, with all the tools we have in modern medicine, microscopy, serology, molecular tests, how do we actually spot this ticking time bomb inside a patient safely and accurately?
Well, when it comes to hydatid cysts, seeing is believing. Ultrasound is your absolute #1 choice for diagnosis. And you are specifically looking for the water lily sign. I guarantee you're going to see this on an exam. This is a classic finding for a C3 active cyst, where those inner parasite layers we just learned about actually detach and float around in the fluid. It looks exactly like a water lily on a pond. It's a deceptively beautiful image for a really, really nasty clinical situation.
Now, what if you do a CT scan instead? Well, if you see this bright, thick white ring of calcification on a CT, it tells you you're looking at an inactive C5 cyst. That white ring is basically the body's scar tissue. It's a victory wall. It tells you the parasite inside is highly likely dead, the body has successfully walled the whole thing off, and you're just looking at the leftover shell.
Oh, and here's a quick pro tip for your oral exams regarding an obsolete concept called the Cassoni test. A classic examiner might ask you about it just to test your history. Know that we threw it in the trash because injecting toxic hydatid fluid into someone's skin to test for the disease was just a terrible idea. It had awful sensitivity and literally risked causing the exact anaphylaxis we're trying to avoid.
Section 5. Treatment options and procedures.
Enter the PAIR procedure. This is a brilliantly slick, minimally invasive method, and the acronym literally tells you exactly what to do step by step. First, you puncture the cyst with a needle. Second, you aspirate, pulling some of that fluid out.
Third, you inject a specialized agent to kill the parasite. You wait a few minutes, and finally, step 4, you re-aspirate to suck it all back out. It's just an incredibly smart way to handle the cyst without having to open up the patient entirely.
Now, while procedures are great, for medical management, albendazole is your best friend. This drug is perfectly paired with our procedures, whether that's the pair method we just talked about or an open surgery. We use it both before and after to mop up any lingering parasite stragglers and make absolutely sure this infection does not recur.
Section 6. Prevention and Final Takeaways.
Remember, at the end of the day, prevention is really just about breaking that life cycle, and it all links back to our definitive host. So use the DOGS mnemonic to completely break the transmission chain. D for deworming dogs, O for observing personal hygiene, like washing your hands, G for guarding sheep to keep them away from infected feces, and S for stopping stray dog populations. It perfectly targets the weakest links in the parasite's entire journey.
All right, here is your golden ticket for revision. If you can confidently recall these 5 points, you are in fantastic shape for your exams. Remember, the disease is caused by the larval cyst, not the adult worm. Humans are the accidental, dead-end host. Memorize those peaked layers, especially that dangerous endocyst. Ultrasound and the water lily sign are #1 for diagnosis. And finally, rely on the pair procedure and albendazole for your treatment plan.
You have absolutely conquered this medical mystery today, but you know, the microscopic world is vast and there are plenty more hidden enemies out there. Now that you've mastered the journey of the Hydatid cyst, what tricky parasitic life cycle should we decode in our next explainer? Keep that exam mode switched on. Keep studying, and I'll see you next time as we continue to break down the complex world of medicine, one concept at a time.